Testing, hello. Testing out this new little tiny mini microphone that my friend brought me from Panama because sometimes I'm taking videos of people and there's a ton of wind. I can't hear anything anyone is saying. Happy Easter, everybody. This is how I celebrated my Easter.
Good morning.
Scared. Right now I am in La Cruz, Costa Rica. I pretty much just finished driving my motorcycle all the way from Dominical Punta Arenas in the South Pacific of Costa Rica up the coast, taking all of the coastal roads, which were pretty freaking rough. I had to cross like 5 rivers. I had to drive my motorcycle on the beach, crazy up and down hills that were like not even roads, they were just like rocks. Level 10 difficulty, and I have like about 5 months of experience on my motorcycle at this point. It's been quite the adventure. The next leg of my trip is going to be going through the volcanoes and all the way to La Fortuna. I've been in La Cruz for like 2 weeks now. I got a cold and it kind of turned into an ear infection, I think. I like ruptured my eardrum. Blood was like coming out of my ear. It was like kind of like freaky a little bit. The family that owns this hotel have been taking really great care of me. On my way down to the beach, I stopped here to like take a break and drink a juice. I started talking to the owner and the bartender, telling them about my journey, and they were like, if you want, when you come back this way, you can stay here and, you know, make a video about our place. We'll take good care of you. It's been lovely. I was like, okay, cool. They have a really cool eco farm. I hope this is still working. This was supposed to be a mic test and it turned into like this long rant. Since we're here, I might as well do like a little Q&A type of thing because I've never really done that before. Some people ask me questions of like, how do I make money while I'm doing this adventure and traveling? And I don't really have a straight answer for that because it kind of like changes all the time. When I first moved to Costa Rica, I was doing environmental consulting remotely. Then I started monetizing my channel, so I was getting a little bit of money from YouTube, just enough to like cover all of my expenses. I also don't really spend that much money. Basically, like whatever comes my way. I was running social media for a business in Ubita. This trip has kind of been a mix of camping, staying with people that I know, volunteer exchanges. I've gotten a lot of questions that are like, do you fear for your safety? Honestly, I don't even know. I feel like life is a video game and you should just get out there and do some crazy weird stuff and see what happens. And Costa Rica is a pretty safe place to do that kind of thing. I mean, obviously you need to like be aware of your surroundings, know if you're in a dangerous area or not, talk to locals, scope the place out a little bit before you're gonna camp there. Make sure you do that before sunset. There's plenty of precautions that I kind of forget that I just do instinctually. When I don't feel safe in an area, I kind of just like can feel it. I'm like, the vibes are kind of off. Usually if the vibes are off, probably should get out of there and find like a hostel or a hotel or something like that to stay at. That's what we do for fun here. I need to test out this microphone while it's like windy to see what the sound is like. These are my friends. Okay, so that didn't work at all. This microphone kind of sucks is the conclusion. So I'm gonna reintroduce my friends over here. This is Eduardo, this is Elisa. I'm gonna answer some of the questions that people asked me on my post from today. Starting with Caroline Hughes. Used to make really bad, embarrassing music videos when we were younger, and I would make her stay up all night because I wanted the videos to be perfect. It is always really windy in La Cruz, so I'm just like kind of sitting in a hole to try and protect the camera from the wind. So my favorite memory in the past year probably would have been during this road trip. There was one part where I had to cross 3 rivers. I had been thinking about this part of my trip for so long because I knew it was going to be super scary and super hard. I've never done anything like that before. When it finally came to it, I was terrified. The sun was coming down really quickly, but then sitting on dirt in a white dress. I crossed the last river just as the sun was coming down, and I just had this moment of like, holy shit. I had to keep riding my motorcycles. I was just like sobbing. Sunset is like beautiful. I'm in the middle of nowhere going through beautiful fields. I'm just like, wow, nobody is here to witness what I just did.
I'm so happy that I'm crying tears of joy and not crying because my motorcycle is in the river. I can't believe I did that.
In that moment, I really felt pure freaking joy. I'm alone and I'm super happy, and nobody can take that happiness away from me. I can literally do anything. I can accomplish anything. Another question somebody asked me is like, what made me decide to start solo traveling? And I guess that's kind of part of it. Experiencing these things alone and learning how to be happy without needing somebody else. If you can do that, then you're just like set. Everything you do, you're just happy. I had like 3 relationships back to back, and they were great, but it was kind of just like something was missing. It had everything to do with me needing to go and explore things on my own. And when you're in a relationship or when you're just traveling with somebody, the experience is wildly different, you know, because you have to cater towards like what somebody else wants and needs. You have to make sure the other person is happy. Traveling that way is also fun, but I mean, it's pretty hard to find somebody that wants to do all the same things that you want to do. I don't know how I could like find somebody that would just decide to drop everything, take a motorcycle trip across all of Costa Rica for like 3 months. You know, that's definitely a journey that you do yourself. And also you really find yourself when you're alone. And then you also realize that even though you're technically alone or like traveling alone, you're never actually alone, but you meet people right away. I make friends everywhere that I go. How did you know you wanted this lifestyle? Not just the traveling aspect, but also the freedom that comes with the lifestyle. How did I know? I don't know, things in my life were kind of going how they were supposed to. Graduated from university, I had an internship, a relationship, everything societally seemed perfect. I guess I just don't want to do what everyone else does. That just sounds boring. I want to do things a little bit differently. I already see a million people doing the exact same thing, like living very similar lives. Something about that doesn't sit well with me. So yeah, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna move to Spain and like teach English, travel for a bit before I, you know, have to work a 9 to 5. And then COVID happened, so I went to Florida. I Airbnb'd my apartment in Spain while I was in Florida, and then I was getting the stimulus money and I was getting paid by my school in Spain still. I started selling handmade masks and all natural lotions that I make on Instagram and used all of that money to buy myself a van. I don't know, it's just like really addicting. Once you start traveling like this and you try to go back to like living a normal life and working normal hours, like you just get bored really easily. Some people are really good with routine, but even as like a little kid, never liked being told what to do. Like, I just want to do things my way. I want to live life my way. You can either be a sim in your game that like does everything normal, or you can play the Sims in a totally different way that's like, let's see how far I can push the boundaries here, because why not? Life is super short. Time goes by so quickly. I don't want to waste a single minute of it. Somebody asked me another question, if I still have a van and if I plan on doing some traveling in it, and my plan is actually to go back sometime at the end of summer, I think, and take my van north, go and visit my family. There's another question that somebody asked about if I'm going to travel other countries in South America, and probably I will. I just don't really know when exactly. I like to really get to know a place before I move on. I feel like I still haven't gotten my full experience out of Costa Rica yet, even though I've seen a lot of places in Costa Rica. I just like love it here. One of the questions was, what brought me to Costa Rica? I have no idea how much you can hear with this one. I really could do this inside, but I just want to have this nice view. When I was working my environmental consulting job, I had a 5-day vacation. I hit up my friend Lauren. I was like, hey, let's go to Puerto Rico. There's some cheap tickets. She was like, well, I've already been to Puerto Rico. Let's go to Costa Rica. So I was like, okay, I don't know anything about Costa Rica. So we went on a 5-day trip. We tried to see the whole country in 5 days, which makes absolutely no sense. I don't know. I just like really loved the energy of Costa Rica. It's just like so wild out here. Like so freaking wild. I mean, unless you're in like San Jose. Even in these towns or like more urban areas, you literally go, I don't know, 5 kilometers outside of it, and it's just like pure nature, just like wild, wild nature. First half of last year, I was kind of going back and forth between Florida and Costa Rica. I just couldn't do it anymore. After you're in this environment for so long, it's hard to go back to cement and dirty cities. So that's why I've been here as long as I've been here. I just love this place. Have I ever been scared by a wild animal? The first night that I camped in my hammock, at 4 in the morning, I heard something kind of crawling around my food bag, and it definitely scared me, but I knew that it wasn't something big. I knew it wasn't gonna be a jaguar. I try not to think about it when I hear sounds because most of the animals that I see are pretty small. When you're in your tent or you're in your hammock and you hear noises, it's kind of like, what is that? Hopefully nothing that can kill me, but you know what, whatever, I'm out here. And I also try to keep my machete with me at all times, just in case. Words of advice for solo travelers: have a machete with you just in case. Don't act scared, make sure you're confident, and you'll probably be fine. Somebody asked me, how much money do I make every month? Well, that is quite rude to ask a woman her weight. What if I hold it this far away? Okay, I'm speaking in a very relaxed voice right now. Hello, can you still hear me? Can you hear the wind? This microphone now is multi-use. Hey, Eduardo. La mamá.
De la mamá.
De la mamá.
Mamá de la mamá, de la mamá, de la mamá, de la mamá, los dos.
Anyways, I hope you guys are having a really good Easter. Gracias. Adios.
Gracias y adiós.